Welcome, everyone, to the Game Vault Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Schuster. Joining me tonight are Mark Myers and Jeni Aquino. Tonight we'll be recapping the latest Nintendo Direct and discussing games we like to play when our brains are fried and we need a recharge. And we'll be reviewing our Retro Roulette game, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, for the Sony Playstation. But before we get to all of that, what have you guys been playing? Jen has made her triumphant return.
We pulled the High Priestess card.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it, Mark. So I'm back. Yeah, I went on vacation, then I got sick. So here I am. I've been playing a decent amount of games, not as many because, like I said, I was on vacation and sick. But Phasmo, as always, we actually played a little bit of that on stream recently. If anyone hasn't checked out the VOD, you should go do it. It was a lot of fun. Phasmo just had an update recently, some quality of life changes. So that's been going really well. They announced, I don't remember if I've mentioned this on stream since it's been so long since I've been on, or should say podcast, not stream. I don't know if I've mentioned it on podcast since it's been so long, but they actually announced that they are revamping their leveling system. It's going to be based on experience basically in the game, like your effort you put into it. Right now, if you join a game with your friends and you do absolutely nothing the entire time, you get the same amount of experience as everyone else. But I believe once they revamp it, it's going to be based on what you put into it, which is cool. So they haven't introduced that. So, none of that has changed yet, but still some tiny little things that I appreciate going on there.
So no more hiding in the van to get experience points?
I don't know if it's going to be like that specific. They're a little bit vague on it. I don't know if it's like everyone has to do something or if it's like as a team, what you do basically gains you more or less experience. I'm not quite sure, but that would be interesting because being in the van is, if you have a full team, it's a pretty legit strategy because you can report, like sanity and any kind of activity that you're seeing from the ghosts. So it's kind of a really good idea to do that. So I hope that they don't totally eliminate the desire for someone to do that, but we'll have to see. I think it's on their Trello page, but it's like number 3 of importance, I guess, between other things they're working on. So I think it's coming. It's just not coming super soon.
Yeah, I would imagine that it's that they can track if you're like looking at the camera thing and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll have to see how it turns out. I'm looking forward to changes like that because I think it'll be interesting. But along with the leveling changes, they're also resetting everyone's level. So I know that's like bittersweet for a lot of players that have been playing since the beginning and are level like, there's someone that's level like 8,000 plus, which is wild. I haven't hit 2 yet because I don't play every single day for hours anymore, but yeah, it's crazy. So I don't care. I think it'll be fun to have a brand new clean slate. I remember what level I was, where I came from. But yeah, more to come on all that. Devour, I haven't played it a lot because you need other people to play with. But they just added a new map, I believe, in Devour. So that's cool. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter Rise. Nice. That came out for PC a few weeks ago, right before vacation, actually. And I was a fan of World. I enjoyed Rise when it came out on Switch initially, but I think part of it had to do with the controller setup. I couldn't get the hang of the wire bugs, which is like your way to, what's the word? Like repel yourself around. And a lot of attacks are repel based, or propel based, excuse me. So I couldn't get my head around that. And it was just very complex. So like a lot of the moves you have to do. And I lost interest in it pretty quickly. But for some reason on the PC, I started playing it on the keyboard. And for whatever reason, I remember the controls a lot easier that way. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. So it's going really well. So I'm HR7. Thanks. Yeah. Which is, I don't know if it's HR7 or 8, which is the highest you can go in terms of story. And then you beat like the main storyline of the game and then you just continue to level up from there. It's like uncapped, I think. But that's been a lot of fun. And then I played a new game called Hellcoming. My streamer friend Death Comes and Look Lizard, they gifted me a copy of it, which was really nice. And that game is very interesting. It's another like spooky ghost type game, but it kind of merges Phasmo, Devour, and like a cleaning simulator in one, which is bizarre to explain it that way, but you're basically like a ghost hunting cleanup team. You go to a site where there's a very violent ghost and you have to clean up, depending on the map. Right now there's 2 maps. So you would have to clean up, say, these like demon spiders. There's like stuff on the wall, like blood on the wall. There's these puddles on the ground, like of ectoplasm. I forget what the other things are, but there's like 5 or 6 tools that you have to use to do these tasks. And there's like a chart and it shows you your progress. And the map is huge. So you have to find all of these things to do while the ghost is continuously trying to murder you. But the cool thing is, if you do get caught by the ghost, you get thrown in this, like, it kind of looks like the depths of hell, but then you can come out and you're in a bird cage and you have to be saved by your team. It's real weird. I don't know the thought process, how they got to that point of putting people in a bird cage, but you have infinite lives until your whole team gets captured at once, then the game is over. So it is a commitment, because one game took us 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's,
it was it was intense and fun, but there's no way to like protect yourself when the ghost is coming except if you hide, and there really isn't a way to hide very easily. It's just if the ghost decides not to look where you're standing, but it's almost impossible to get away from the ghost. It runs at the same speed as you, and as you're nearing the end of the game, it speeds up. So it's crazy. It's just like, I think for the I don't know, like the intensity behind it. But I feel like if they added a way to repel the ghost, at least temporarily, to get away from it, that would give you a little bit easier of a time to not take 2.5 hours. But it was still fun.
It sounds like they need to do some sort of balancing there.
Yeah. I think it's been out for about a month, so I'm hoping that they're going to continue to tweak things. But it was interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how someone took like a cleaning simulator and was like, let's put ghosts in it now. Like, and also when you die, you're going to be in hell. But when you come out of hell, you're going to be in a bird cage. Like, what? It's bizarre. And then aside from that, I played VHS, which, again, I don't remember if I announced this on podcast or not, since it's been so long, but I got a closed beta key, which I was so excited for because I was waiting to play this game for forever. And it is so much fun. It is, I don't know, it's great. I haven't played DBD in forever again. And this is like filling that void for me, which is nice. It's just like, it has its similarities, but it's very different. In the sense that you actually can craft weapons to fight back at the monster. So you're not just totally helpless. And there's also not a lot of time for people to potentially be toxic and like troll each other while playing. So it's been fun. Good. Yeah, it's positive. I never really get frustrated at it.
That's good.
Yeah. And the community members on their Discord have been doing a really good job making sure that they weed out anyone that's like really shitty. So they're trying to make it like a nice, like, it sounds kind of dumb to say this, but like a safe place for anyone to come, because there's open comms and stuff. So they're really trying to work hard at making sure that there's not, a bunch of bad people playing their game. So they're doing their best, which is cool.
That's always appreciated.
Yeah. And then I think that's pretty much it, aside from our Retro Roulette game that we're going to talk about in a little while.
Mark, how about you?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the 2 new games that I started recently. I have started Persona 5 Strikers, and oh man, does it feel like the whole beginning of that game, what they're talking about and going through is like sort of what I was going through playing it, where it was like, I haven't seen you in so long, how you doing? Great. It was nice to be back in that world. I think I love that game more than I thought when I got back into this. Because it was immediately like going, Ryuji, you're crazy. As though I was the 7th member of the team in the room. But anyway, it's a Koji Tecmo game. I think I say it. Warriors.
Yeah, I would say it's like a Warriors style.
Yeah. And so it's fun so far. I'm in the first jail, they call it, instead of palace in this one, which is basically the dungeon. So I'm going through that. It's fun. The writing in that game is real good. there's some, it's Japanese writing, so there's some times when there's some problematic stuff in there, just basically culture-wise. I hope there's no more recurrence of the two old gay men that were very gay stereotype. That was pretty bad in the original game.
I mean, that game's almost 10 years old, isn't it? The original
5?
Persona 5?
No. I hope it's not that old. I don't think it's that old. It is that old?
Let me check. I feel like it's kind of old.
Well, 10 years old would be pre-PS4. So
Persona 5 came out for the PS3.
I have it on 4.
It's 6 years old.
Yeah, I was like, I have it on 4. So, I mean, I know. I got it when it came out.
I knew it was somewhat of an older game, but yeah.
So anyway, I hope this is sort of better writing. But I really like that game. I like that series. So I played through that. Haven't gotten a chance to jump in, but I downloaded the Uncharted Lost Legacy, like PS5 thing. I did the $10 upgrade. So we'll see how that looks. It's probably going to look amazing because Uncharted 4 looked amazing on PS4. So be on the lookout for that. I've been playing way too much Vampire Survivors. That game
it sucked you in.
It just wastes time. You get like a 20-minute run, and then you go, okay, and you buy all the stuff, and you're like, oh, I got some cool upgrades. Let me go back in. 20 minutes later, same cycle continues. And then it's like 3 hours later, and you're like, I had things to do. But yeah, it's the routing on it is amazing. In not like the repetitiveness of it. It reminds me of, there's another game that it reminds me of probably what Hades was when it was early access. I didn't play it early access, but being limited levels and the powers coming. I like talk to the game, like when we get the treasure chest. I don't know if either of you watched I think you were there, Tom, the stream, when I did it, when the treasure chest comes through and it just cycles through everything before it tells you what you get. Near the end of the stream, I've gotten so good at sort of recognizing the pattern that as it's going through, I'm like, all right, super weapon, super weapon, super weapon. I'm chanting at the computer while sitting alone in my room. So yeah, it's really good. I recommend it's $3 on Steam, early access. I recommend it if you like it. It's me and Jonathan tried to describe it last episode. It's a slow bullet hell. Slow bullet hell, like roguelite. And there was another term we use. It's like all these mixtures of genres. Oh, idle game. Because if you get enough power, you can just sort of stand in the middle of the map and kill everything as it comes after you.
That's always nice.
So, I highly recommend that game. I just downloaded it, and I wasn't totally, what's it called? Inspired by a certain trade that may have been made yesterday. That I purchased NBA 2K22 to play. It was on sale too. That helped. So gonna try that out. What's amazing to me, and they have it's out on PC and PS5 and Xbox Series X, right?
Yeah.
The PC version is the PS4 Xbox One version.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was last year it was, and I'm like, oh, okay. They just did it special for the PS5 and Xbox Series X to get people to buy it, right?
Yeah.
Because the systems just came out. I'm like, okay, good. Then when they said that the 22 was also the old game, I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah, that's really weird that they at least wouldn't even put in like a a patch or something for it.
Yeah, no, it's
for textures or something.
Yeah, it's the maybe on a high end PC you can get it pretty close. But yeah, the textures aren't the next gen textures. So weird. Yeah, it's really weird. Also, the PC version is broken, as I think I spoke about on stream. I read from somebody that the people are just creating players that are like impossible. Like the guy that has arms that can touch the floor while he's standing up.
Which means he can dunk without jumping.
Exactly. Yep. So that was fun seeing that clip. But yeah, so I'll have to report on that game coming up. Play through more NCAA 14, and God, that game is good, especially with the upgrade, I'm doing with the with the patch and all, and the college football playoff. And then I'm playing through Madden 25 as well, and realizing how much worse of a game that is than NCAA 14, which is really weird.
I mean, I always liked the NCAA games better than the Madden games.
It's just such a stark difference. Like, I don't know if I gotta look up, maybe people can help us on Twitter. Maybe 25 was just a broken version of Madden, but yeah, and maybe that's why my version from Uncle Vim tends to crash a lot.
Well, yeah, that's another problem with PS3 games like that, is they always had patches, so you have to try to find all the patches for said game while you're playing it, or else it's going to be a buggy mess.
Yeah, it's just weird. It soft locks on like loading screens, which is really frustrating. But anyway, while playing Madden 25, as if you see the header on my Twitter account, Skip Bayless said that Mark Myers might be the greatest player in the world. So,
Period.
No, hashtag simple.
Oh, simple.
Oh, that's
right.
what it was. Yeah, simple.
So that was fun. That fake social media is so simplistic, because I think it was one of the first times they implemented it in there, and it's just funny. But yeah, playing through all that, I think me and Jen are getting really excited about a certain game coming out in a couple weeks.
Phasmo's already out. What are you talking about?
You're
talking about the Phasmo update. Okay, gotcha.
I would love to play this bit, but I think we both know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm getting really excited for that. And then there's some stuff coming up in March. My new life situations, hoping they all come to Game Pass. And so I can play them a little bit more. But I'm at least going to play, I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. Horizon Forbidden West.
Yep.
I might have to hold out on Elden Ring, because I think for our podcast, Horizon's probably the better one to play, since the two of us can talk about it. But yeah.
Well, Elden Ring will probably be Game Pass, right?
No, that's From.
Oh, it's From Software. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking it was Bethesda.
I mean, Bethesda sometimes wish they were that.
Damn.
But
Burn.
yeah. So gaming's starting to pick up. So it'll be really nice. As we're going to talk about in a little bit, 2022 is going to be ridiculous. Because we're getting all the delays from COVID, plus anything that was supposed to come out in 2022 anyway.
Yeah.
All this year. And it's just going to be packed.
I remember at the beginning of the pandemic hearing about Forbidden West and literally getting all teary when I was watching, them announce it. I was like, oh my God, when is this going to happen? Because we had our conspiracy theories in our news in the beginning of the podcast, hey, they posted this job. I think they're making Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Yeah. And they announced it. And it was so long ago, and it's finally here. Almost.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You have to blow the dust off your PS4.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God. Seriously, I do.
Yeah. If it's some of the what's it called? I think some of the games that were originally scheduled for 2022, I would delay if I was studios. Get a little bit more time to work on it, because there's way too much coming through this year.
Yeah, some big stuff.
So that's all I played. Tom, besides Halo.
Besides Halo, I beat Resident Evil 2 on stream.
Hey, how free do you feel?
Oh, so it's felt so good. It felt so good to not have to worry about playing Resident Evil ever again. I uninstalled it already.
Oh, okay. Well, was it worse than you expected, or would you admit that it was not as bad as what you maybe would have imagined it was like?
The beginning was kind of bad.
Yeah.
It was kind of nasty and gross, and that's the kind of stuff that I don't like, aside from the jump scare stuff. But once you get past the whole... once you start... I guess once you clear out an area, it's not as bad. Like when you're having to figure out puzzles, because I'm not worried about being chased or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But the Mr. X stuff is shitty. Just because you move so slow. There's no reason you should move as slow as you do in that game. And it's just infuriating because you can't get away sometimes. And it just makes me not want to play when stuff like that happens, because it's not like it's it just makes it unfair for no good reason when you're not able to move. Like especially towards the end when you're fighting the end boss.
That's what I was thinking of.
You can't. You literally cannot get away from the end boss. Like people were joking on stream, like, "Oh, you're supposed to dodge that." I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I can't dodge when I'm holding this gigantic gun. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah. But that's the infuriating part. But other than that, the story was interesting. It kind of pulled me through. I'm sure it would be more interesting if I continued playing and got the second half of the story, but I don't care that much.
Now you played the better of the two. I'm glad you picked her story to go with.
Yeah, Claire's story is always better. Even though I think canonically, what is it? Leon A, Claire B, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think most people played Leon first, probably, in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, because I think if you actually go through Leon B, it seems weird. That because you've seen Claire's stuff.
Right.
Just like the timing of everything.
Yeah, I think Leon generally, based on the game when it came out in the mid to late 90s, it sucks that it was a thing, but most people were going to play the male side first because most people were the male character. So
it was probably the default choice.
Yeah, that also.
If you press X, it was Leon.
But I think Claire's story was pretty interesting, so I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed the story. Some of the bullshit stuff that happens in the game, not so much, but I think
you did a good job.
Thank you. I think Mark was surprised at how good I was at the shooting.
Yeah, you kept it cool. Those zombies don't go down in one hit, like one headshot most of the time. So
the one boss fight I was, because there's so many things that can go wrong in that boss fight. The last time he fights, or the second to last time that he fights Birkin.
Okay.
When you're down in the pit, and he's picking things up and throwing at you.
Oh yes, you went through that right away, right? First try.
Try.
Yeah, because he was just like, I got this.
I'm not saying he was lucky.
Right. But no, he did a good job.
He got lucky in the sense of his good shooting.
Yeah.
He would get the damage where the animation would trigger the thing while he was holding something. So it would start triggering, like he shot the final eyeball, and it would start doing the animation. So it would drop the thing it was holding on it and causing damage.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
It was like, watching it, I was just amazed because there are so many times you miss a shot or miss an eyeball and he throws that thing at you and you're in danger.
Right.
Right away. The damage thing did help, but I think him being really good at taking out those eyeballs helped them in a few situations when people usually get caught.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I have to give a lot of credit to Mayton because I would not have known about the
I didn't even know.
The defense buff you can get from a red, blue, and green herb together. Yeah. I had no idea. I thought blue herbs were useless, but thank God he was there.
Told me about that. It's definitely helpful for sure.
Yeah, the blue herbs are poison healers in the original.
They are in this game too, but apparently they do a lot more also, which was nice.
Yeah, and also the first aid spray gives you defense too. I noticed that on the last fight.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, when you used the first aid spray, it popped up. But that person didn't touch you enough to kill you in that. You avoided it as much as you were complaining.
That was another impressive fight.
you were avoiding the actual, he grabs you and, and you were avoiding those real well. We're lavishing all this praise on.
Yeah. I think we're just trying to get you to do RE3 now.
You need to lavish all this praise on me because I did not want to play it.
Yeah, you really took, we had a very generous sub goal that we hit, which is why you did it in the first place, but you really committed, 3 months to it or 2 months? It was a long time. So
you 3 months, yeah. It was it was 8 episodes and that's every other week. So it's like 3 months. Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say that facetiously, but our community had a lot of fun with it. And I think that was
everyone enjoyed it. You did the damn thing.
I did the damn thing and I beat it.
Yes, you did.
I feel good that I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the mere fact that it was, it was a sub goal and people, I think people were a little upset that I wasn't as freaked out as I thought I would be. In the beginning I was. the beginning, I was way more freaked out because there weren't as many puzzles to keep my mind from thinking about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the remake of the first one would have been a little more difficult for you to get through because there's some of the things you were frustrated in this aren't as optimized. I don't know if I'm the right word, but
they obviously made stuff better for the second game.
Yeah.
They weren't as fine tuned.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to let you know, I believe it's the remake of one. Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the one where you have to burn the bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one.
Yeah. Or they get back up and they're faster.
God, I would.
And you're like, how is this possible?
And you have to carry a tanker around, find oil tankers to fill that tank. Oh, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's like
The remake's great, but you know,
that sounds like a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, you beat what some consider probably either first or second best game in the series.
Yeah, I mean that's another reason why I was interested in playing this one, because everybody heaped so much praise onto this game that, you know, I felt good about picking that one.
It was somebody's game of the year 2 years ago.
It was somebody's
1 year
game
ago.
of the year
I don't
2
know.
years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, RE4 is the only other one. But
Yes.
Yeah, RE2 and RE4 are generally the ones that are talked about the most positively.
So when I get my Oculus Rift or whatever it's called, Quest 2, in a few months, we're going to have you play RE4 in VR, Tom? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's not what you're hearing at all.
I just heard it. I don't know.
You guys must be hearing things. Too much Phasmo.
But yes, congrats, buddy. That was great. It was great content too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really happy I got through it. I'm happy everybody enjoyed it, and I'm happy to no longer be playing it.
Perfect.
But yeah, also I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm still enjoying. I haven't run into anything that's like putting me off of the game. Like the humor is really good, the battle system's really good, and I did mess up some huddles.
The messed up huddles are amazing.
So it's just, and it's hard to figure out what is the right thing to say for those.
You'll get it. You'll get it after a while.
I think I'm 1 out of 3. I'm 1 out of 3 on huddles.
Yeah, I didn't miss one from the middle of the game on, because you start to learn the words.
Yeah.
Like listen to what they say. Do you have subtitles on?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I never play games without subtitles anymore, just because I'm old and I can't hear shit, and I don't play with headphones on, so sometimes it's too quiet.
So yeah, the easiest thing, I don't know how much of it this is going to help you, but just listen to the words they say and then just the mood they have, and one of the choices will match it.
Well, that's what I thought I was doing for the last two, and I picked the wrong one.
Yeah, when they seem excited, pick the one that like enhances that excitement.
Yeah,
you know, and when they're down, pick the one that rallies them. Like you'll learn it. Like I said, about halfway through, I didn't miss one after that.
Yeah, I forget.
And if it starts bothering you, you can go into the options and auto win huddles too, if you want to. It's an accessibility option.
I don't know that I'll need to do that, but it's just annoying when it goes wrong. If I haven't felt like I really needed one, but every once in a while, like I'll have one available, and I'll forget which button I need to hit because they use all the trigger buttons in this game, which is weird because it's not a normal thing, and I'll forget which button I need to press, and then all of a sudden I'll hit the huddle button, and then I'll get it wrong, and then it'll be like, all right, that was just a waste of time. So hopefully I'll figure it out as I continue on. I don't know. I forget how far in I want to say chapter 5 or 6.
What was the last thing you did?
The abandoned ship where I just beat Lady Hell whatever her name is.
Hellbender.
Lady Hellbender.
Okay. All right. So you're out of the first part. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in probably like the second act of the game, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. So you have not met Manta. Have you gone to Nowhere yet?
No.
Okay.
Rocket keeps talking about going to Nowhere, but I imagine that's where we're going next.
Yeah.
But,
I did kind of spoil it.
It's fine. It's not like he didn't talk about it. I figured we were going there at some point because he keeps talking about it. So
yeah, that's where.
So this isn't a spoiler, but Mark, who did you try to sell? Did you try to sell Rocket or Groot?
I sold Groot.
I tried to sell Rocket because he felt so strongly that I felt like maybe he's right.
Yeah. I want
And
to
of
see
course-
if that affects anything later on.
I'm sure it will because, well, when you tried to sell Groot, did she figure it out anyway? Or did she actually attempt to take Groot?
No, she took him.
Oh, see, now when I picked Rocket, she knew immediately that it was a scam.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't try to buy Rocket at all.
Yeah, she took him away and did all that. Spoilers. So if you want to see the full breadth...
It's the first third of the game. It's not...
No, to the audience. Yeah, but I'm not going to say what happens after that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
because
I'm sure
of the species. So
you and I I'm sure are going to make very different choices in that game. So I'm interested once I get all the way through it to see what choices you made and how different.
I only save scummed one because it was bullshit, and I'll let you know when you get there.
Okay.
It's going to be a while. It was one of the last ones.
All right. Sounds good. Also, I started a playthrough of Banjo-Kazooie on Switch Online because I've never played that before and I don't own it. Besides, I think I own a Rare Replay maybe, but I thought, I have the controller. I might as well try it on the original controller. And Kurt had mentioned he had just finished playing through it on Switch Online and he played it through with the Pro controller. So I thought I'll give it a try since I have the controller, I might as well try it. But he was very right about one thing. He said the camera was awful, and god damn it, that camera is terrible.
Yep.
It might be the worst camera in a 3D game I've ever used. And it's just because it was one of the first ones. It was one of the first 3D exploration games like that.
Yeah.
Like even Mario 64 didn't really have a great camera either. But this one's not good. Especially when you don't have analog control. When you're using the C buttons. It's a thing. But I'm having fun with it. Some of the stuff is wonky, and that's because it's an N64 game, but the collectathons kind of ease my brain because they're not like too difficult of a like they don't have like super difficult moves or anything you need to do. They kind of give you moves as you go along and you learn them all, and then it just allows you to progress through the game. I'm also in the beginning section, so I haven't really gotten anything real yet, but collectathons kind of ease my brain because I don't have to think too much when I'm playing them. I see thing, I pick thing up, I progress through the game. So it's nice in that sense. And hopefully I'll get further in as we go, and I'll be able to report back on hating Gruntilda because fuck that bitch. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've been playing. I think we should probably move on to some interesting news. Jen, if you want to go ahead.
Speaking of Banjo-Kazooie company.
Yeah, speaking of Banjo-Kazooie.
So, everyone, I'm sure at this point has at least heard that we had an interesting Nintendo Direct. Was it this week or last week? Well, we're dating ourselves. It was within the last week and a half.
Yeah, it's in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In between podcasts.
Yes, time already doesn't exist, and then throwing in like backdating, it just gets confusing. So, Nintendo Direct was quite exciting. So we figured instead of our usual news, we would go through the announcements and pause on the ones that we have thoughts on. So I'll go through the list, and then you guys can jump in and tell me if you're excited about it, or maybe if you hate it, if you have an opposing opinion on it.
Are we looking to have a 3-hour podcast?
We're going to have like a 5-hour podcast, so buckle in, folks.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one, just to give everybody a heads up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that came out for this.
There's a lot of stuff and a lot of thoughts, I feel like. So
yeah.
This is going to be a good podcast, though. We promise. So our first game, I'm going to go in order of everything being announced. So if anyone wants to, go back and watch after you hear this, you can do that. So our first game that was announced was Fire Emblem Warriors, which is coming out on June 24th as of now. And obviously, I think Mark is pretty excited for this one.
I don't. Let me get through Persona 5 Strikers and see if I like warrior type games.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I will do anything to see my Edelgard again.
I heard her name in the trailer, and so I figured you might want to play it anyway. But
I was gonna say I saw her in the trailer, and I was like, oh man, Mark's in trouble here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get my Makoto and Edelgard both back in the same.
My Makoto and Edelgard.
I
love it.
My
Mark
two video game monkeys. Yeah.
Mark, do you need an Edelgard body pillow?
No, I do not. I am not that guy. Weirdo.
Dang it. Okay.
We have a legitimate love. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
But
I stand that.
yeah, but yeah, in all seriousness, if you listen to these podcasts, those are probably two of my favorite female characters in the last year. I guess the other one would be Megara from Hades. So
cool. Well, we'll have to see if Mark decides to play Fire Emblem Warriors then in June. Yeah. He's like, who am I kidding? I can't stay away from my loves. Next up, they announced Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. They just gave us updates on voice acting they added to the game, which sounds pretty cool. And some new terrain and maps. So nothing, I mean, unless you guys had thoughts on that.
Advanced Wars is amazing. I saw a great screenshot from Jeff Grubb on Twitter of one of the lines from the boy with the red shirt and the yellow star on it. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. Apparently he's supposed to be like dumb. So the thing is like, hey, what's going on? What's an airport? It was, and Jeff Grubb's tweet from the screenshot was, "This man is in charge of people's lives."
Yeah, they seemed really like nice, considering they're firing tanks and stuff at each other. Like it was like goofy, almost too goofy to be a war strategy game. Yeah,
Advance Wars is great. But yeah, that quote. I mean, you think of the fact that this guy's a general, and it's just perfect. That's what Advance Wars is. But yeah, I recommend anybody that likes would it be tactical action?
It's I'd call it a tactical RPG.
Yeah, there's a word for it. I don't know if tactical RPG is it, but it may be. But yeah, if you like games like Final Fantasy Tactics is probably stretching it a bit. But what was that game called? I'm probably the only one that knows it. If it comes to me, I will bring it up again. But there was a game that was really high indie game a few years ago that is very similar to the way Advance Wars plays. So, yeah.
All right. Then they also announced. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, first two games out of the chute, and we're already talking about them for like 5 minutes.
It's a turn-based strategy game. Why couldn't I think of that?
Yeah.
It's basically like Civilization style game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. After that, they announced No Man's Sky is coming to the Switch for sometime this summer. They didn't give an exact date, but that was a game that I had my eye on, or I've had my eye on for a while, but I never played it because it just didn't grab me. Although looking at the trailer, I'm like, why didn't I play this? But I still don't feel the urge, especially on the Switch. No offense. I don't know why. I just don't want to play it on the Switch. I don't know if you guys feel differently.
Yeah, so one thing.
Mark was a day one for that.
I was a day one person. Yeah, I was back when it was shit. Yeah, it's gotten much better. I've tried to play it a couple times, but I just don't have the energy like I did when I first bought it. Because there's other games that I would rather, spend the amount of time it would take to actually get into that to do. And but yeah, it looks like everything's been great with all the updates and all. The two things. One, Jen, if you're interested in playing it, get it for PC or anything but the Switch.
Yeah, I would totally get it for PC at this point.
And that leads me into number two. This is not a cloud game. So
that was the surprising thing to me is that it's not a cloud version. Like games like this generally are, but for some reason this one isn't.
Yeah, so I don't know how this is going to look. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. I thought it actually looked a little dodgy every once in a while in the trailer that they showed.
Well, there's like no shadows or anything.
It's just
weird.
Like it's a very interesting game that they're bringing to the Switch. I don't think it's going to look great, but we'll see. If anyone ever plays it and says otherwise, you can let us know. But again, that comes out this summer sometime. And then they announced something that Mark was really fired up about, Mario Strikers Battle League.
Oh, fuck yes.
Coming out for June 10th. I'll give my thoughts really quick, and then you can go into it if you want, Mark. But I thought it was really cool that up to 8 players can go against each other online. And they announced you can create a club for up to 20 people, so you can compete with other clubs. It's pretty cool. And I also like how you can customize, give yourself perks essentially as your player. So I'm thinking it's going to be cool. I'm not a sports game player necessarily, but this could be something that I might be into because you can play with friends.
I wouldn't call this a sports game.
No.
No?
I mean, yes and no. It's kind of like if soccer met NFL Blitz. I don't know if you ever played NFL Blitz back in the day, but you really don't
I
need to
might
know. You don't really need to know how soccer works to play.
Right. Yeah, it's
Like
definitely not that kind of sports
Like
game.
if you've played Rocket League,
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It could be along the same lines of that kind of sports, like
Yeah.
a sports.
And you have power-ups and things like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's really amazing. It's probably, in my opinion, the best Mario sports game that they've made. I could hear
baseball was pretty good.
some arguments for golf and stuff like that. I'm saying the original stuff, not the new one. The new golf was trash from what I heard. Just because there was no life to it. They took out all the great stuff from the original one. Same with tennis. Like they dumbed it down, I guess, to get a wider audience. But from this trailer, it looks like they're not doing that with strikers. You're literally, there was a video of Mario kicking Luigi into an electrified gate to steal a ball away.
Damn, sounds like soccer to me.
Yeah, it's real fun. Strikers is real fun. Especially playing a couch co-op or couch against each other. The only thing I want,
they said 8-player.
Yeah, 8-player online and 8-player on if you got enough Joy-Cons and stuff like that. The only thing I hope is if Waluigi's in the game, he needs to do his crotch chop celebration when he scores. Because it is the best part of the original game.
Well, hopefully Nintendo didn't catch on to that.
That was amazing. You can find the GIF online if you search for it, but it was the only reason to play as Waluigi in that game. I love this game so much. And it's just, it looks like they're keeping the spirit of it while adding some new stuff to it with the, being able to customize your characters to upgrade them. So, playing online and stuff like that. It gives you an incentive to play more than just play through a season or whatever it was in the first game and then that being done. So yeah, I'm really excited about this game. If there's anything from this thing that I would purchase day one, it would be this.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never played a Strikers game, but it always looked like fun. So I'm interested to see how it plays, and it may be my first Mario sports game I pick up in years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next they announced Splatoon 3 Salmon Run, which is coming out sometime this summer as well. I've never played a Splatoon game, but the trailer gave me anxiety. So I don't know if I would play it.
Zero.
Yeah, it looks like you're literally battling against an enemy to cover the area in your paint color before they cover it in their paint color. And I'm really sorry to Splatoon fans if I just insulted the hell out of the game and there's a lot of lore in it or something, but it just gave me anxiety. Like, it's not something I think I would enjoy, but it's a thing. So it's coming out this summer. I don't know.
It just looks like they took Splatoon and made a zombie mode. That's what it looks like to me.
I don't know anything about Splatoon, but I recognized what it was instantly. That's about it.
Yeah, that's the one game on this that I didn't really play.
It just blows my mind that I don't know if you guys have seen the logo for Splatoon 3.
No.
But the end of the 3 looks like a penis.
Oh, no.
It's supposed to be a squid.
I know it's supposed to be a squid, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah, at least it's not a human man giving a blowjob.
Well, yeah, there's that
because
too.
That got through, and
a lot of things got through that shouldn't have.
So for those of you out there, look at the Resident Evil 6 logo. You will never not see it again.
Just like two Batman kissing.
Oh yeah, two Batman kissing the Wolverine mask. You won't unsee it now, Tom.
Yep,
I've already seen it.
And has never unseen it to this day. All right, so moving on from that, we have Front Mission 2 remake in the future. That's going to come out. I have no comments on that. Unless you guys do. We can move on.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I've heard good things from friends that like mech games. So
yeah,
Jonathan's a big mech game person.
Yeah,
so.
Maybe he'll have some thoughts on it. Then we have something that I feel like was invented for Tom, and that was Disney Speedstorm.
Yes. Yes, it was.
It's literally like Kingdom Hearts racing game, it looks like.
Well, I saw something pretty funny on Reddit. I was scrolling through and the Kingdom Hearts Reddit basically said it was the meme with Tobey Maguire where he has the glasses on and glasses off.
Yeah.
And one of them said the name of the game, Disney Speedstorm. The other one said Kingdom Carts. And I was like, yep.
Oh,
Yep, that's it.
That's great.
Not only that, it's free to play.
Yes,
So,
that was my note. I love that it's free to play and it's cross-platform and it's online multiplayer and they're going to continue to update it. I think they have something there. I think that's pretty cool.
That was the one thing that gave me pause because
free to play.
Free to play sometimes means either the quality is not going to be good,
pay to win,
and or it's just going to be pay to win. Yeah, as you said. I was trying to think of some other way to say it, but it could be great. I mean, it could be Fortnite.
I'm thinking I'm hoping that it's more like Pokemon Unite, where that was free to play, and it's so much fun. I hope that it's not like, no offense, Fortnite free to play. No offense to our Fortnite fans. You know what I mean, though. Even if you like it, you know what I mean.
Yep.
So yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. It's nice that it's free to play because everyone has no excuse not to try it as long as you have, a Switch and stuff. So we'll see. I don't have a note when that's coming out. Did they mention? Do we remember?
Let's see. This summer is all they said.
Summer. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these are either giving a month or like a this summer, this year type estimate. Then we have Star Wars The Force Unleashed that comes out September 20th. That was an existing game, right?
Yeah.
Already?
It not only was an existing game, it's a really old game.
Yeah. And it's an interesting storyline, but yeah, it's existing.
So this game looked like shit, first of all.
Oh, is this a Star Wars game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they did was they took the Wii version of the game and upscaled it. This game also came out on Xbox 360 and PS3, which I'm pretty sure I own both the Force Unleashed 1 and 2. But I'm pretty sure the Wii version is like a totally different game. And you can tell because it just looks like garbage. I don't know what they were thinking using the Wii version when the Switch could very easily run the better version of the game. I guess because it had gyro controls and you could do stuff with the Joy-Con, but I don't know. It just seemed weird to me that they would use that game as the basis.
Yeah. Well, that one has a specific date, like I said, of September 20th as of now. So we'll have to see if any of our listeners play it. You can let us know if it's garbage or if it's better than what we think it's going to be.
Yeah, I wonder if it was a Nintendo call to use the Wii version.
I'm sure it was, but I don't know. It just seemed
at what cost?
It just seemed weird that they picked that game to put on the Switch. Like Force Unleashed I gotta check it now, but I gotta think that game is over 10 years old at least.
If it was for the 360, yeah,
probably. 360, let's see. Yeah, 2008. Wow. So 14 years ago. 14-year-old game coming out on the Switch for some reason. I don't get it.
Who knows? Then we have Assassin's Creed, a bundle of their first 3 games?
Yeah, the Ezio collection.
Ezio, that's it.
Yeah, what is it?
It's
two Brotherhood and Revelations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's coming out on February 17th, so very soon. That's another one. I don't know how it's going to look because those games are notoriously beautiful.
And the remake wasn't great.
And
so the remasters weren't great. So yeah, I am with you on that.
Again, it's not a cloud version. This is a
most the ones that you'd think would be are not. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I imagine they're going to be locked to 30 frames per second, and they're not going to have all the lighting and textures and stuff.
Right.
But who knows? It could be good. It could be terrible.
Right. Then we have SD Gundam Battle Alliance, which is coming out vaguely sometime this year, but I don't know that that's really for any of us.
Is that like a chibi Gundam thing? Like, I don't know what they were going for with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, they didn't look like real like it looked like toys. It didn't look like...
they kind of did look like toy Gundam. They're weird. Going for like cute Gundam.
Yeah, it was like chibi Gundam.
Hawaii Gundam.
I don't get it. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Again, though, we're probably not... Well, we are. I was going to say we're not the target audience, but generally anybody our age grew up with Gundam, so I don't know why they would go with that art style.
Yeah. Who knows? Then we have something that I'm pretty sure we breathed into existence because that's what we do here on the Game Vault Pod, a Chrono Cross remaster, the Radical Dreamers Edition.
We do breathe these things into existence. There's no doubt about it.
That's like, it's just, there's another one on the list too when we get there. It's like, what? We've been talking about this. But that comes out on April 7th. Are you going to get it, Tom?
I'm going to wait because it comes out on PS4 and Xbox One also.
Okay.
I'm going to wait and see because they might put it on Game Pass because they've been putting other Square stuff on Game Pass. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a good point.
I keep hearing how bad it looked, but I didn't think it looked that bad. Maybe I'm losing my touch for retro stuff, but people were like calling out how bad the upscaling looked and everything. I'm like, I don't know. It looked all right to me. It did.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that you can like turn off all of this extra stuff that they put on it, which will probably make a lot of people happy. But I'm interested because I'm supposed to play it at some point on our stream. So
yeah.
And Chrono Cross is a notoriously hard game to stream because when you switch from gameplay to the menus, the resolution of the game changes. And every time you do that, it messes up capture cards. So there's only a couple ways to really go about it without having to deal with that. One is playing it on a PS3 because it upscales it automatically and it always outputs the same resolution. Another one is to use a certain scaler, but I don't have that scaler and I don't want to pay $300 for it. So I'm thinking I'm going to play it on the PS3 eventually whenever I get to that. So, or this, we'll see. Because it's the same thing. It's just, it's a upscaled version on new hardware.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe once you get to when you want to play Chrono Cross, you'll have an idea of if you want to play this one or the original on stream.
For sure. And Imperfect will be impatiently waiting while I do that.
Next, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is coming out on March 25th. I think this looks... I know you guys have already given some like basic thoughts off podcast, but I think it looks super cute. I love the little enemy foxes. I don't want to kill them or eat them or whatever you want to call it.
I think you can save them. I think there's a way to save them.
They're adorable. Mouthful mode is hilarious.
People really didn't like that.
Yes.
People were really, really upset about that. I don't know why.
You could be funny. A car, a vending machine, a light bulb. So ridiculous. It's hilarious. And you turn into a dragon in the trailer. I saw it. I'm here for it.
I'm here for the Kirby media player.
It looks really good. I like the graphics from the trailer. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd play it like right away, but I'd be down. It seems
like an interesting concept. It's kind of a Mario Galaxy style Kirby game.
It's cute.
Essentially, it is Mario Galaxy with Kirby because in Mario Galaxy you got to do the same. Basically, the mouthful mode is Mario Galaxy because that's basically what you did. You would throw your hat. You'd get those powers.
Did you say Odyssey or Galaxy?
Did I say Galaxy? I meant Odyssey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I said.
It's Odyssey.
I know it's Odyssey, but my brain is fried, and who knows what I've been saying for the past 10 minutes. It's been a long week.
Anyway, I agree with you.
It looks like fun. It may be the first Kirby game I actually play.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But I think it's cute, so we'll see. Then we gonna have MLB The Show coming to the Switch, and my note here says that Otani is hot, and that's all I'm interested in. What about you guys?
Yeah. He is.
You're not wrong.
I am not wrong. Yes, this is correct.
And he's also the most unique baseball player I've ever seen in my life. The only thing to say about it, it's a baseball game. I'm so glad that the show's going to multi-console because they've been the best baseball game for years. Probably since like MVP 05 or something.
I'm just worried that it's going to look like shit on the Switch.
That's fine. They don't care because Otani's on the cover. He's a star in Japan. The Switch is huge in Japan. Show's going to sell a hell of a lot of copies no matter how.
Yeah, he could look like a stick figure on there and they wouldn't care.
Yeah. It's going to sell ridiculously in Japan.
Yeah, I have no doubt about that. But I just think it's going to look like hot garbage. It's gonna look like a. I don't know. It's good. I feel like
It's gonna look like we're back on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Or something.
It'll be the PS4 version essentially.
I don't even know if it'll be that. I don't know what they're gonna do to it. I don't know how they're gonna make it run.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Now we have Kingdom Hearts, finally a cloud version.
Finally a cloud version that everybody is hating already. I don't know if I don't know if you've seen any people talking about this, but apparently it's very broken at the moment.
Jen,
yes.
Before we continue,
yes.
Can you read the full name of the game?
I wrote Kingdom Hearts, so you can say it.
I'll read it. Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece for Cloud.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
What a shit name that is.
They're so extra.
They are. They're so extra, and the game doesn't work.
Integrum.
The game
what does
work.
Integrum mean?
They just like to throw names in there. It's like in Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Oh yeah, Intergrade. That's right.
Like, they just throw names in there.
I can make sense of that one because they're integrating it into the PS5.
Well, doesn't Integrum mean all inclusive?
It's something like that.
Because it's all the games. It's every game.
Yeah, that's what it means. But yeah, I mean, these are the guys that have Dream Drop Distance and 37.5 over 20 or whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
They won. Like they can't just give it like a normal like. Not saying all games should just have what is really normal.
I just don't understand why it's these games of all of them would be the ones that wouldn't be cloud versions, because
that's true.
1.5 and 2.5 came out on the PS3. You would think the Switch could handle a PS3 version of a game.
It probably can, but they probably couldn't fit it on a cart.
So make it digital only. I don't know. I don't
also,
know.
I'm seeing that it costs $90.
Is that right? The whole thing costs $90?
It says Square Enix sets $90 price for cloud-only Kingdom Hearts series on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, God,
I don't know how accurate this is. This was dated at the end, a couple weeks ago.
Let me go to the eShop.
Because I'm not on the Switch right now. I wanted to. I have a note. I forgot to look up the price.
It might be 30. It might be 30 per game.
There's more than 3 games.
No, but the 3 they flashed across the screen.
Let's look. 71. It's right now. It's on sale. Surprise. For $71.99. So to go through all that's included, it's got 1.5 and 2.5 remix, which includes all of the side games like Dream Drop Distance and Chain of Memories and Birth by Sleep and all of those, all the non-numbered ones. Then it also includes the 2.8. Mark, you must love this shit. 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. And then it also
ridiculous.
has Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Remind DLC.
Oh, yeah. R lowercase e : mind.
R-E, mind.
Oh, okay.
It's art, Mark. It's art.
It's just, I just laugh at it at this point.
You have to. You have to.
It's just like, it's got to be a bit now amongst the developer.
I'm sure everybody's like, how can we make this more ridiculous?
They have to continuously top the last name. So
yeah, I will not believe, even if the developer, even though if Shigeru Miyamoto, brain fry, came up to me and said, "No, Mark, I know the people over there, and they said that they just come up with it, on their own. It's not a bit." I would say, "You're lying, Miyamoto."
Miyamoto-san.
Miyamoto-san, you are lying. And then if the head of Square Enix comes over and says the same thing, I will punch that guy in the face for doing NFTs. And then I will call him a liar. But yeah, it's got to be a bit. No one can convince me otherwise. It is a bit.
Mark's that guy at the table with the sign that says, "Try and convince me otherwise." It says, "Change my mind."
Yeah.
Actually, the article that I looked up for the price does note that currently there's a 20% off offer, which is temporarily $71 or something like that. So
yeah, $71.99 right.
Yep. Oh boy.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah, I know that when you're a fan of something, and I'm an example of this with things like Skyrim or Minecraft, like you're going to get it wherever it comes out, whenever it comes out on a million different versions of it. But like dropping $90 after you probably have this game and all the games,
So,
it's a lot to ask, I think.
so here's my issue. I'm paying $71.99 for a game I will eventually not be able to play. It's a cloud version. There's the only thing that's downloaded onto the Switch is the launcher.
Yep.
Eventually, I will no longer be able to play this game because they will shut down this cloud version. Who in their right mind would pay $72 or $90 for these games when you can own them physically for an older system? Granted, if the only thing you have is a Switch, that's one thing. That's a totally different argument. But anyone who's a fan of these games, one, already has them all. Two, can play them on any other system and have it look better, run better, and they can play it whenever they want because it's on a disc. The paying $90 for a cloud version game makes zero sense to me.
Right. Yeah,
and that's my soapbox for digital only games.
Yeah, I get that. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we might get some feedback from some of our listeners on maybe what their thoughts are. So I'm excited to hear about that.
Yes, please let us know what you think about it being only cloud.
Yes, yeah. Now for our next game that we've recently streamed, we feel like we brought this back to life as well, and that is Klonoa.
Yes,
is back.
We very much brought Klonoa back.
We singularly brought this back. It is all us. I feel like I haven't seen anything about Klonoa anywhere, and now it's back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we did it.
You did it.
We did it.
Good job, guys. Look at us. That comes out July 8th. So, yeah.
I will. Now, this is something I may buy because it's not just Klonoa 1.
Oh, yeah. It's 2 also, right? The second one?
Yes. Yeah. It's Klonoa 1 and 2, and there may be something else. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely 1 and 2. And it looks great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks cool.
So, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Now we have Portal coming sometime this year.
Portal's another game that's on everything.
Yes.
It's interesting that they're releasing a version of Portal for the Switch after Valve's handheld system comes out.
Countering the Switch killer?
I
don't know.
Are they hedging
the
their
Switch killer
bet?
is made by Valve, and so is Portal. So it's weird. Yeah. You're right, Mark. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Are they hedging their bets?
They've also said that it's not a Switch competitor. They've tried to say that. Nobody believes it, but they've tried to say it.
Who has said that? Valve or
They've said that it's not a competitor to the Switch.
That makes me nervous because that means that it might not be as good as I was hoping it was going to be.
So, well, Jen, just to ease your mind, so far I've heard nothing but good things about it because reviewers have gotten hardware, like beta hardware or whatever that's pre-release, and they've all had good things to say about it.
Good.
They've also had a couple of nitpicks that can be fixed. So I think it's going to be a good thing. Now, do you still have your pre-order in for that?
I do, and I was literally thinking today, as I was thinking about these other games, like I might want to cancel that. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Jenny, know what happens though? You can stream from it.
You're right.
It has a docking station.
Yeah,
it comes with a dock. So who knows? Just keep that in mind.
I'll keep my my deposit of $5 on a little bit longer. I'll let it ride that $5 for a while. Yeah. So then we have Live Alive. Sorry, had to read that twice. Live Alive.
I think
or Live Alive.
I think it's Live Alive.
Live Alive.
Yeah.
It's another. This is also a Square game, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Freaking Square in their names.
Live Alive.
Yeah. Square Enix. It's been 30 years. I think this game came out. Go ahead. I'm sure you got it all written down.
Oh, I have nothing really to say on it other than that it comes out July 22nd, and I can't even say the name. So maybe you should talk about it.
Well, it's reminiscent. It came out long before Octopath Traveler, but it's the same type of idea.
Yeah, it did remind me of what Mark talked about with that game. It's
a bunch of very separate stories that will eventually intertwine. and it's an HD 2D game, just like Octopath, which I was hoping they were going to make Final Fantasy VI like that, but they didn't. That's a whole other discussion. But it looks really interesting. Like there's very, very different storylines, very different time periods that you play in. And Jonathan is really excited about it. So
didn't they hint that there's more timeline or storylines coming other than what they've mentioned?
Well, yeah, there's more than what they showed, I think.
I feel like they showed a lot. I feel like
they
they
did,
talked
but
about like at least 6.
Yeah, I think there's more that are available.
Yeah. I'm very interested in this game because this was one of the ones that you would see in passing in like video game magazines back when it originally came out. You know, like
not only did it never come west, I don't think anybody's ever done like a translation. A lot of times games like this get translations, but I don't think I've ever seen one for this game.
Yeah. I did not remember what it was called, and then when they started showing it, I was like, oh, I kind of like it. Sort of like triggered that thing in your memory.
Yeah,
where like I don't know where I've seen this before, but I've definitely seen screenshots of this before. But yeah, it's definitely if I go back into the RPG hole.
Yep. I think RPGs are calling your name right now, Mark.
Oh yeah, I am deep in my head thinking of because I'm thinking of YouTube content for the podcast. Things where we can play games not on stream and like show basically these two or me and Jen or games. Thinking of going. What if I did a playthrough of Persona 5 Royal? I got a spare 125 hours.
I don't.
Damn.
I very much don't.
I'm not saying it would happen. But
no,
it's like
I know, but I'm also saying that on top of streaming, then doing like a YouTube playthrough for me at least at this moment in my life.
I know. Yeah, I'm just saying it's funny that Jen says that about the RPG calling my name because I literally was thinking this the other day.
Yeah.
When I got done playing Strikers, I was like, Royal. Then I thought I was saying, why don't I do it on stream? And I'm like, no, it'll be too backseaty. Maybe I'll just end up doing stream. I don't know. But yes, it's that's what I'm worried about these games. The HD2D games is that they're going to end up being these 50, 60 hour games. Like legitimate without doing side content, kind of like how Persona 5 is like literally 100 hours. Unless you just mainline the story and play on easy.
I don't know that this game is that long because I'm pretty sure it was.
No, I'm not saying it's that long. I'm just saying it's one of those games where no matter how I play it, it's still going to take me X amount of hours. It's way too many hours, But
yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah,
I know the feeling for sure.
Well, we'll have to see. And if Jonathan's excited about it, it'll be good to hear. If he plays it, it'll be good to hear about it. And maybe that'll get us to play it too.
Yeah.
Next, we have something I'm really excited about. I think, Tom, I know you said you were excited about this, and that's Wii Sports. Coming
not Wii Sports.
Well, okay, no. Wii Sports reimagined as Nintendo Switch Sports.
There you go.
Yeah. Which
is coming April 29th. So they're bringing back some of the Wii Sports that we know and love. So tennis, bowling, Chambira, which I never played.
It's the foam sword fighting.
Yeah. And then they're adding soccer, badminton, golf eventually, and volleyball, which holy shit, volleyball. So excited. I can't even tell you. I love also, I just want to say really quick before you guys go, I love how they show the person very calmly doing the actions required because we all remember punching our siblings in the face by accident or maybe on purpose when we were playing the Wii. So I thought that was really funny because they were like in the game, they're like, oh, and in real life, they're like, like, please don't hold us responsible for destroying your house by kicking a hole through your television. You have to move your leg an inch to actually do the action.
Well, yeah, all of the actions were very nonchalant in the direct.
And it's online play, so we could play volleyball together from online.
Also, they were I love the beginning. They were like, "Do you have your wrist strap?"
Yeah, of course I do. They're like, "Don't sue us."
Yeah, I love the volleyball motions in it.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited. You can block. You can set.
Yeah, the last time volleyball game, there was one on the move. PlayStation Move with their Sports Champions collection. And with everything PlayStation Move, it wasn't very good. But yeah, everything looks great here. I'm glad they're bringing golf back. I'm hoping they're going to add sports as they go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still have baseball and boxing and one.
Well,
there's
I
one
don't know
other.
that I don't know that they can do boxing, but baseball they should be able to do.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for you, Jen, for volleyball, but at the same time,
Mhm.
I was very bummed that baseball was not a part of this.
Yeah. Like you said, maybe they're planning on adding stuff, so they're holding on to that one. I don't
Hope
know.
so, because that was the only thing I played on Wii Sports besides bowling, I think, for quite a while.
It is a little redundant, no offense to tennis or badminton fans. Don't think I'm saying that they're the same, but it's a little redundant to have both when maybe they could have had baseball as one and brought the other one.
I agree. It's a little redundant to have two racket sports.
Right.
How dare you besmirch the shuttlecock?
Yeah, I did appreciate them calling out the shuttlecock in the trailer.
That's great.
Yeah.
That game's only fun depending on how big the shuttlecock is. So.
Hopefully pretty large, because otherwise you'll miss it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that conversation. Anyway, moving on from that, we have Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival, which
before we move on, just to finish a point from 2 games ago, according to How Long to Beat, the main story of Persona 5 Royal, just blazing through the main story, 104 hours.
Oh, blazing through, damn.
Yeah, just concentrating on the main story.
Persona 5 is brutal.
And for 4 hours.
That's a brutal game to try to play through.
Yeah, it's a long commitment. What was Trails in the Sky? How long was that? I forget.
Like 40?
That was like 40 to 60, right?
Yeah. Well, you minus 8 hours from whatever you see on the video, because I spent 8 hours grinding before beating the final boss.
Right.
And all I had to do was learn one spell. Not that we'll get off this tangent in a second.
Yeah.
Literally, I just had to learn Earth Wall, which was a spell that put up the shield for all 3 characters. Right. And that's all I needed to learn to beat the final boss.
How Long to Beat says 40 hours for the main story.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we got to like 50 or so.
Yeah.
Because we did side stuff.
It's just good to have that as a comparison, because I
just
lived through it with you.
Twice as long, Jen.
Yeah, I don't ever...
Wild.
I'm let you know front, saying this statement is not me like flexing, but it still amazes me that I actually completed Persona 5 with how long it is.
Yeah. I would agree.
You look at it and you're just like, I played it for long? Like, it's not even like one of those games where, like, I'm sure you have more than this in Phasmo and Dead by Daylight and all that.
Yeah, but it's not constant lore.
It's a single player
right.
story. And I did the main plus extras, which is 120 hours, because I beat the entire second dungeon they have in there, like the separate dungeon from the actual game. But yeah, that's why, I'm really interested to see if how long any of these, old school RPGs are that never came over, and if there's a reason for that, because there usually is a reason for sometimes they think the games are too hard for America. Yeah. And I'm wondering if Live Alive, excuse me, might be one of those.
Yeah.
It's possible. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I guess we can also close up a tangent from before by saying I just saw the Splatoon 3 logo, and I agree it does look like a penis. Now we can officially move forward.
I wasn't kidding.
You were not kidding. Taiko no Tatsujin. I was better the first time. So that's launching sometime this year. It kind of looks like a mashup of DDR and Guitar Hero. I think I'd try it if somebody else got it.
Jen, you'll love this. It's got a lot of video game music in it.
Yeah, I know there's Zelda in it, right?
Yeah,
Zelda music.
I think there's a lot of video game and anime music.
Yeah, it's similar to Just Dance, where I think you have to purchase the online pass or whatever, and then you get like 500 songs, which is kind of cool. So I think it could be, if it's really good, it could be a potential Extra Life game, maybe.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Because we all liked Guitar Hero, and I like DDR. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it could be an interesting party type game.
I like DDR.
Yeah. DDR is cool. So I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts on it. I was kind of thinking, because there's like a DJ mode or something, and I instantly thought of DJ Off the Mark.
Mark,
But-
do you have DJ Hero?
Yes.
Oh, I bought that for my brother forever ago. I forgot about that game.
Yes, I will find if I still have it in a couple weeks coming up here.
That's true.
As I have to go through shit. But yeah, I did. I bought both games and the thing when they were on super sale at GameStop.
Nice. Bust it out.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have Triangle Strategy. There's actually a demo out now. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that one.
Can't believe they're sticking with the name.
Triangle Strategy.
I'm happy they stuck with the name, but at the same time, I don't care about it.
Is it, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe Jen can, is this the same people that made Octopath?
Yeah, it's Square.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. No, I mean like the same studio. is what I
Probably.
meant.
I don't know that Square has like separate studios like other companies do.
Okay. I may have phrased that wrong what I was trying to get at because
The
it
same
just seems
team? It may be the same team. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but it's the same engine as Octopath.
Just the fact that both of their games had like very obviously placeholder names and then they just kept them.
That's funny.
You know?
I think because people wanted it to be that name that they kept it like that.
Yeah.
Because everybody was like, "Oh, you got to keep that name. That you should not change it."
It feels very much like the urban legend of Snakes on a Plane with these games. Is that the reason it stayed Snakes on a Plane was that Samuel L. Jackson would not do the movie unless they kept it Snakes on a Plane.
You never know. It could be that kind of story,
Yeah.
which is great.
But yeah, I'm not very good at tactical RPGs, so they never really intrigued me. Even like Final Fantasy Tactics, I never really got into it.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine when I was growing up was really into it, like way more than any other RPG, but it never really clicked for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. Then we have some more Cuphead. We have the Delicious Last Course DLC coming out on June 30th. I know Cuphead's really popular right now, so.
Jen, do you get the joke?
Delicious Last Course DLC. Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
I appreciate it.
I mean, the Switch is the perfect place for Cuphead.
Yeah. It looks great.
It's one of those games you can just pick up and play for like 20 minutes and then be done with it. And especially if like you're traveling or something, I feel like it's perfect for the Switch.
I love how nostalgic it is. I know that's literally the point of the style of the game, but I love it. I appreciate it very much.
Yep.
And Miss Chalice.
Yes, Miss Chalice is our new playable character. Cool. Then we have a Metroid Dread update that just came out, so it is available right now. I told Dan about this today. We have two new playable modes. They have Rookie Mode, which gives you increased recovery, which is a reasonable addition to that insane game. And then they have Dread Mode, where if you get hit once, it's game over. Sorry, that's unacceptable to me. Watching Dan play regular, I can't even imagine.
That's a big that nope for me.
Big nope.
I was just going to ask when Dan's going to stream Dread Mode.
After he eats his pickle, maybe that could be his sub goal or something.
Yeah.
And that watching him play through Metroid Dread was impressive because of how difficult it is, like just to play through it. I can't imagine going through that entire game without getting hit once. That's some kind of craziness.
Well, I imagine you'd get hit and you'd die, but you'd come back. But I can't imagine trying to not get hit.
Right. Like, I can't imagine. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, some people do one-hit KO and Link to the Past randomizer.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy too.
Yeah.
All that stuff is crazy. More power to you if you could do it, though. Seriously.
Yep.
So yeah, if that sounds like your cup of tea, go check that out. Then we have Earthbound on the Nintendo Switch Online, which is available now on the NES portion of that. And then we had a few other Nintendo Switch Online updates. I don't know if you guys want to go through those. I didn't write them down.
So let's jump to the Earthbound thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Tom, they're making Earthbound 2, aren't they?
They have to release Mother 3 before they make Earthbound 2.
Just the way that they package these two together for Nintendo Switch Online makes me think that they're going to drop that at some point.
I don't think so.
No?
Not until Mother 3 gets a translation and is released in the West do they do Earthbound 2. Because it's already got a sequel. So I don't know that they would do another they wouldn't just call it Earthbound 2. At least that's what I think. I could be totally wrong, but I don't.
Yeah, they could either do that or just do like a remake of Mother 3.
Which people, it's a meme at this point, Mother 3.
It's like halfway free.
Well, have you ever seen the memes of people asking Reggie if Mother 3 is coming out in the West?
Yes, because, if they're going to announce it, Reggie has to announce it.
Yeah, they have to hire Reggie for a day to come out and say that it's coming out.
Yeah, but yeah, and basically for those of you out there, Earthbound Beginnings is basically Mother, the first game in the series. They just renamed it.
Which seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
Just call it, I guess, because nobody would understand that Mother is the real name of the game.
Yeah, and that game came out in 1989. So
for the NES.
For the NES, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Earthbound's always a game I wish I got more into.
Well, I'm glad they're putting it on this, because a lot of people were worried that since they put it on the Super Nintendo Mini, that it wouldn't come to this. But hopefully this means that other games that are on that will come to Switch Online at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited because I eventually would like to play through Earthbound. Also, I don't know if you guys heard this, they released the strategy guide on Nintendo's website, and you can download it in PDF form and print it out.
Nice.
Which I thought was really cool, because it's one of those games that you should have a strategy guide when you're playing.
Are they going to release the pizza car fresheners that they put out in the 90s?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That is very 90s, though.
It was one of the main things that failed for that game was the marketing. Nobody knew how to market it. So
makes sense. But yeah, like I said, there's a bunch of other updates. I don't know if you guys had any opinions on any of the other new things coming out for
Earthbound's really the only one.
Yeah, that's why I wrote that one down separately.
I thought it was interesting that there's a Demon Slayer game coming out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
But not for me, for people who like Demon Slayer, but I didn't bother. I didn't really care too much. The biggest thing coming out for me that's interesting is the Mario Kart DLC that's coming out, I believe, middle of March.
It says 48 additional courses by the end of 2023.
Right.
So it's like a rolling. How many did they say at a time? 9 at a time?
They're doing 8.
6?
8 at a
something
time.
like that. Yeah, there you go.
And they're doing 48 total.
Yep, that's it.
And they're remakes or remasters of maps from previous games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way back to the original.
It is a paid DLC as well.
And including Tour, which is the phone game. So that should be.
But if you have the expansion pass for Switch Online, it's free.
Which is really exciting.
Yeah, especially for me.
I was happy about that.
It's the thing with that is that it's more exciting for people that already have the thing than it will be to get people to buy it.
Right. Well, they tried it with Animal Crossing to entice you. Now they're trying it with this. They're like, come on, you want it.
This is way more enticing than Animal Crossing. No offense to
Animal Crossing. You.
Just my opinion. Loved, the N64 or Genesis. No, more people.
I don't know if we mentioned it's for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's paid DLC if you don't have the expansion. So I couldn't tell. It's not $24.99 per wave, right? It's the entire wave. It's just going to continually update. Okay, that's what I was hoping. So that'll be cool. And then last but not least, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming out this fall, September of 2022. I've never played a Xenoblade game, but the voice acting in that game probably would have sold it to me. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds great. I don't know if you guys have ever played Xenoblade.
Yeah, they're all British for some reason.
Yeah, it sounds so good.
I own Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade Chronicles X. I've never played them, but they seem right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, because Mark was talking about 100-hour RPGs, these are 100-hour RPGs.
Of course.
I don't know about the first one because it was on the Wii, so it might not be as long.
Yeah.
But this game is supposed to encompass stuff from the first game and the second game. So, because the second game wasn't a sequel per se, it was like a different person altogether, different hero altogether.
Okay.
So I'll be interested to see what they do to transform to bring everything into the same universe.
Yeah. It looks beautiful from what I saw.
Yeah, it looks great
Yeah.
especially for like a Switch game.
Right.
It looks really good.
It looked really good. So maybe we'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I will have to get through at least one of the games before I even think about it, though.
Yeah, that's fair. So,
but yeah,
I believe that does it for Nintendo Direct.
Man, that was a packed Direct.
It really was.
I was so like blown away that they had so much stuff in that Direct.
Yeah,
it
was good.
So much so that it fried my brain.
Yeah, it was definitely. This is the stuff they've been holding back from announcing.
Yeah,
big year.
But yeah, I mean it came out at a very busy time too. All this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Sure did.
And as this news was coming out, my life has been a blur due to all kinds of stuff that's happening, and just like these past couple of days, we've been talking in our group chat, and I've just been saying, man, my brain's fried. Mark said it before, and it got us thinking, what games do we like to play when we just don't we want to shut off our brain, we want to recharge, our brain is so fried that we don't want to think when we're playing these games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I thought that was really interesting, and it got me actually thinking about what games I do like to do that with. And I was able to come up with a few, and we're going to give them to you, and then hopefully you all out there will tell us the games that you guys like to play when your brain's shot. You just need a mindless wind down and recharge. So, Jen, why don't you go first?
Okay. So I tend to go for something, like you said, where I could just turn off my brain and recharge the batteries. I want to fully immerse myself in the game, but at the same time be calm and relaxed. So I'm not dealing with battles, strategizing, puzzles, or a really involved storyline. Mm-hmm. So my number one go-to is Stardew Valley. For me, this is one of the most perfect games to play when you need a comfort game for multiple reasons. Like if you need like an emotional comfort game, this is great as well. But also like a turn your brain off kind of game. It doesn't have to be, but you can play it that way if you want. It's so relaxing. You have the music. The gameplay is simple if you want it to be. You could spend your day farming, doing simple collection, going around collecting things, making friends with people. Should you want to strategize, you can definitely make it not a super calm game. You can really grind to make sure you get your dollar's worth out of every single day and all of that. But I love playing Stardew when I want to turn off my brain and just totally relax. I actually, funny enough, used to switch to Stardew when I'd get all fired up from Dead by Daylight. And I would legit need to calm down before bed because I would get so angry. And also, I should mention, I did get this game for PC. I have it on the Switch and PC now. And I fell down the modding rabbit hole with Stardew. So I think I have like at least 27 mods on PC for this game, including a mod that makes the colors muted so it's not as bright, which actually makes me relax even more because, typical Stardew has very bright colors at times. So if you're, a PC player and you want to download Stardew, definitely look into mods safely, obviously. But there's some really cool mods out for the game, if anyone's into that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mark, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm just going to encompass the entire genre because it goes back and forth on what type of game I play. But I would say sports games in general. Depends on season, what I'm in the mood for. Currently, it's NCAA 14. Other times it's FIFA. Back in the day it was NHL, but they haven't made a great game in 6 years. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, hey, I only got 2 hours or something. It's been a really stressful day. Let me play a game or two. And sometimes it's become the problem in the past where the same thing happens with the other games I'll mention on this list. But then it's like 6 hours later and I play through half a season. And I'm like, just one more. I can get one more. Yeah. I'm not trivializing people with addictions, but it sort of becomes like that thing with like either alcohol or drugs that you hear about or gambling. It's like, no, one more. I got this. Sort of. I just need one more. And then I can go to bed.
Yeah, it's hitting that
Yeah.
that funny spot in your brain that says, "Yep, I need more of this."
Right.
Yeah. So all three of the things I'll mention here hit that same part of my brain. But the sports game is like really weird, where it really is seasonal, and maybe Tom can attest to it too, because probably of the two of us, the ones that play as many sports games as I do. And yeah, it's just, I am so glad. I will say it every time on here that I was able to find that thing to be able to play NCAA 14 and didn't have to dig out my PS3 to play it. And then finding the other mods were amazing. I can't wait to see if there's mods for the NCAA Basketball 10, which was the last college basketball game, that I'll probably be starting to play in a couple weeks here. As a certain tournament that takes place in a certain month of the year. We don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to say it. Comes up. But yeah, that's it. Just sports games in general. And I'm talking like it goes back to when I was younger with like Bases Loaded and, games like that. And I would play all the obscure sports games, just to do that. That was the way I calmed down from school and stuff like that. It wasn't until later when I found RPGs that I played a game to like sort of slow my life down. But yeah, if you like sports and have any kind of video game computer apparatus, just grab something, even if it's a something from your Uncle Vim. It's a good way to just wind down, unless you get too into it,
right?
And then you can then you claim the computer's cheating. So, but yeah, and it reminds me of one story I will tell here that I love that Dan's told me 2 or 3 times, and it's still great every time he tells me. The fact that he does the thing I do in football games and doesn't switch to the receiver to catch the ball. So he was playing against one of his friends, and Dan scored a touchdown, and the friend went and high-fived the Xbox.
Yeah.
And said, "Way to go, buddy," or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just that's what sports games do. But that wasn't a calm down situation. But anytime I talk about sports games, that story immediately comes to my head, because it's the funniest thing I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. Sports games are definitely a good way to do that, and it is seasonal. As baseball season comes around, I want to play a baseball game. If I'm watching a lot of wrestling, I want to play a wrestling game, something like that. But I agree with you. But my first real game that helps me wind down, and really it's any time I need like a break from thinking, the Forza Horizon series. The fact that you can just drive around in the game and not actually have to do anything is very calming, and it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Almost Zen-like. Because when I'm gonna sound old here, but back in the day, we used to just drive around.
Yeah.
When gas didn't cost $4 a gallon. We would just, let's go for a drive. Okay. And since I don't really have the ability to do that anymore, this kind of replaces that feeling. And not only that, you got music playing. You can choose to do certain activities if you want to. You don't ever have to do a race. You don't ever have to have the the stress of having to win a race. You can just drive around and you can jump off stuff and you can take pictures and stuff like that. And it's really, really like my big oh yeah, that's what I want to do before I go to bed or after a long week, just driving around in Forza Horizon. And on top of that, the game always has life, because there's drivatars from your friends list and things like that, and there's radio DJs and stuff, and it just there's a lot of humor and stuff in those games also, which definitely helps. And I highly recommend them to anybody who, even if you don't like racing games, I call them car RPGs.
That's fair.
But I don't know how many more you guys have. I don't know if you want to go through one more time, 2 more times.
I have 2 more, so
Yeah,
I could lump them or I could split them, whatever works better.
Go ahead and I guess we'll go around 2 more times.
Okay. So my next game is another game where I totally immerse myself for endless hours where I forget what time it is, and that's Minecraft. This is definitely not something I'd recommend to everyone because Minecraft is not something that, you know, a lot of people are interested, or I should rephrase that. Everyone is probably not interested in Minecraft, but for those who are, can probably relate to this. There's no intense story to follow. You can play on a mode where you do have enemies, so it's not totally zen, but you can either avoid it by going to sleep at night, or you could play on creative mode, and you don't even have to look for supplies if you don't want to, because you have everything at your disposal. So if you want to boot up the game and build something wild, you can go into creative mode and just have everything you need already. Or again, if you want to go into the regular mode and look for stuff and just make your own little world, you could totally do that. And again, you don't really have to think about what you're doing. You could just do it. This is a game where I could start playing it at like 12 p.m. on a Saturday and I blink and it's 3 a.m. Sunday morning. I'm like, oh my God, I just wasted so many hours of my life that I'll never get back. But it's like therapy. It's like therapeutic for me. Sometimes I need that. I just need to escape into my Minecraft world of all of my different, you can ask next time you see him, Death Comes on Twitch, ask him how many houses I've built in their server. Because I just move on to somewhere else and build another house.
And you're also a very creative person, so I can totally see.
The draw. I'm able to think of things. Maybe like for someone who doesn't, like Dan has said, like, I don't know how you can play Minecraft for so long. It's just not my style. And I get that because he likes different styles of games. So like I said, it's not for everyone, I think, but and the music's really nice. I also play with some mods there as well. But because it's not my server, I can't like go nuts. So I play with like more realistic graphics and a little bit more muted colors as well. So it's really fun. It can get intense if you want it to be, but I don't really play like that. I go for like building and creating stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Mark?
Yeah, so building off and no pun intended, Jen's choice for Minecraft. Mine are city builder games.
Nice.
You know, like City Skylines or Sim City. The one that I lose the most time in is what's called City Skylines. Because
it's a good game.
It's Sim City without all the like you getting kicked out as mayor sort of thing as Sim City has. But City Skylines is great. One of my favorite parts about it is, like I said, this is one thing where I could spend like 12 hours on a Saturday, like back in the day, just building a city up there. And it got to the point one city, I played it for so long that I had to figure out a way to re-engineer my city because the pumps that you pump the water in had taken all the water out of the river. And the river was almost dry. So I had to figure out how to get more water into the river and wait for it to rain, and it was crazy. So yeah, those games are amazing. I recommend anybody that likes them, check out City Skylines. The detail of it, and, just so we can get through all of our games, I won't stretch too long, that they had is they put in traffic lights and stop signs that you could put in there on your streets to help with the traffic. That is such a finite detail. When I tell you that when you have 100,000 person metropolis and you have to go around, it takes you a few hours to put in stop signs and traffic lights on
you have to
every
think it out.
So that's how you lose those hours in that game. As much as I love I will hold comment until I hear all the games, because I think there might be one that might be Jen's that I wanted to comment on, but in the same sense as this. But yeah, these games are amazing, and talking about it might make me fire up City Skyline points again. But yeah, so yeah, what do you got, Tom?
So you kind of going off the Minecraft thing and stuff. I really like Lego games. Like one of my favorites is the Lego Movie video game. Also, Lego, what's that called? Lego City Underground. I gotta look it up now, because now it's gonna bother
that was
me.
It. Yeah,
but it was basically like the GTA 5 version of a Lego game, and I really like those because they're kind of mindless. They're like, you basically just need to go around and break stuff down and then rebuild it. And it's just kind of mindless, and it's the humor is always good in Lego games. And I don't have to worry about, getting headshots and things like that. And usually, especially the open world Lego games, again, it's the same type of thing. You're kind of living in that universe, and you don't have to worry about anything for a little while. And especially the Lego Movie video game, I found that really, really cool, and I really enjoyed the original Lego Movie. And being in that universe for a little while is a lot of fun. All right, Jen, how about the last one? What do you got?
So my last one is not typically something that is necessarily calm and relaxing, but I used to make it that way when I wanted to, and that's Skyrim. What I used to do, and Dan actually would walk in on me doing this and be like, why? Why are you doing this instead of actually playing the game? I would decide to turn it into the Sims version of Skyrim. And I would be like, you know what? I'm going to go build a house now. And I would go and scout out a location with all the available ones to choose from. And I would decide what kind of house I wanted. And I would spend hours designing this house little bit by little bit, customizing it. And that was, how I would spend my hours sometimes. I mean, I was obsessed with Skyrim to the point where I probably could consider the entire thing a comfort game, but like turn my brain off and just vibe, it would be building houses in Skyrim. But I guess I'm seeing a pattern here between Minecraft and Skyrim. But I mean, my luck would be that I would finish my house and then I would walk outside and a dragon would have decided that this was its home as well. And it would attack me or like murder my horses, and I would get really angry. So maybe not Zen at that point. But overall, it was a nice way to decompress, was just building a house in Skyrim. So that was my last one.
Well, those are all really good choices. But Mark, what do you got for your last one?
So to finish off my statement from the last game, I was going to say, as much as I played it a whole bunch, I wouldn't consider The Sims one of these games. Just because I think I have more fun just setting up a whole house and then just leaving it run a day and just seeing what happens when the Sims just have free will. Do I come back and 3 of them are dead? Who knows? Is the house still there? I don't know. So that's not a game I sit to relax. It's a thing where I'm like, oh, let me try this experiment. I'm going food shopping. Let me put this on and then leave the house. It's pretty fun to do that. But anyway, my real game for this is we'll just say Civilization, whether it's 5 or 6.
That's a good one.
I really like playing Civilization. It's real fun to try and do all the victories, even though ones like culture and religion are ridiculous. And as fun as domination is, it takes way too long to win a game domination, even if you get new. But yeah, I went through a thing with, I think it was 5. I don't think I did this with 6. Maybe it was 6. That both games have been out so long, where I was trying to beat it with each civilization because they each have their own specialty. And that would be the way I would calm down. Like, all right, I'm going to play through Civilization, and then, it won't surprise any of the listeners out there that I am 15 hours later on a Saturday. I am near the end of a game of Civilization. So yeah, that's where the hours suck away with this, because it's always the one more turn aspect, because it's literally a turn-based game.
That's a hard game to stop playing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can end turn. Like you saw when me and Dan were playing it.
Yeah.
We get to the point where if it didn't crash, we'd be like, oh, let's do one more turn. I know it's almost time to end it.
Yep.
I got 2 more turns left on this scientific thing I'm researching. I'll just play till I get that. And then once I get that, it's like, oh, there's only 3 more turns before I get this ship.
Yep. Yeah, it's addicting. That game's great.
I wish a game like any of the space versions of this type of game would, any of the 4X games in that sense would excite me. But for some reason, just going through the history of man on Earth, or however you set it up, is great. The best part about 6 is they started putting in like global warming and stuff. So it really it really makes you think about where you're building your cities and stuff like that too, and trying to protect yourself from all that, and adding disasters and volcano eruptions and tornadoes and tsunamis, and just adds a whole different layer than just going back and forth, trying to outwit a civilization. So yeah, 6 has been really good for that so far. But yeah, while when you're playing the game on higher level, I play it on whatever the 4th setting is, either Prince or King, I forget what they call it. It can get really tough, but playing it on an easier level, you just have some discover everything and all the great artwork in it.
Yeah, it does look very good.
Awesome. So from my last game, it's going to come as kind of a surprise, I think. It's kind of not a game I think you would expect someone to play when they're winding down, but for me, it's the Kingdom Hearts series. Generally, it would be Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, just because of how nostalgic those games are. Mm-hmm. Also, you're in Disney World, so
true.
It's kind of an escape that way too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll just go into Traverse Town and just let the theme play. That theme could put me to sleep so fast.
It's so soothing.
It really is. And
nostalgia-wise, and just it sounds great.
It's like I don't know how to describe. It's like it just soothes my brain. I don't know how else to describe it. It's one of those things that I could just stay in Traverse Town for hours and just let that theme continually play, and I would never get sick of it. And again, it might sound weird to some people that I'm playing an action game to calm down, but it's at the same time, it's not exactly the most robust, crazy action game. It's somewhat simple, so it doesn't hurt my brain any more than it would anyway.
It's a good one.
But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up our games to recharge and what we play when we're feeling a little fried. And we're going to move on to one that is a bit more complicated. And that's our Retro Roulette game for this week, and that's Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the PlayStation. And I'm really happy we got Jen back for this one.
Me too.
Because it's been a while, and I feel like you've missed a couple of games you'd really like, and this one, for sure, I think is one that you would really like. So I'd like to hear your opinion.
Yeah. I am really glad that this happened to be the game that I came back for, because I'm a big fan of Castlevania games in general. And I know I had never played Symphony of the Night, and I know it is one of the best ones. So I was really excited, and it did not disappoint. First and foremost, the music in this game right away was like, hell yeah. It is so good. Castlevania game music is just epic. And like I said, this was just awesome. I also really like the character portraits in this game in that old school anime style. The game starts out nice, making it impossible to lose in the beginning. So that was very kind as well. And it was also really nice not to worry about falling through stairs. I'm sure you would agree with me on that. It just like the bullshit wasn't there, which was nice. I appreciate it. It was just like a smooth game. It looks great. It sounds great. I love it. Difficulty wise, I feel like it was on the level of what I would have expected from a Castlevania game. You have the time where you're swarmed by enemies out of nowhere and you're like, whoa, like right in the beginning, you go down by the water and it's like the enemies are jumping on the platform and there's like 7 of them and you're like, oh, what the heck? But I mean, overall, I think it's easy to get the hang of it. It's not too difficult. I think the only like sort of negative, and this isn't really even a negative, I feel like it's a struggle. You only have 1 potion early on, which I needed to use before I fought the double boss in the beginning. And after that, I really wished I had just 1 more. So basically what happened was I wound up stopping soonish after I met Maria. I wound up having about 30 health when I reached the plant that reminded us of Seymour. And I didn't have enough health to beat that boss with like, I basically didn't have the time to keep trying over and over and over again to figure out that part. So I stopped, and I definitely will go back to it. I just wanted to take a break at that point. But I mean, I had a lot of fun playing through the game. I just wish that I had a little bit more of an opportunity to gain some health back at that point. And I don't know, I could have missed the, what do you call it? The wall chicken. I feel like I missed it. The wall meat. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, I had a lot of fun with the game. I've always, again, really liked Castlevania, so I was not disappointed at all by this.
Mark, how about you?
Yeah. So I am upset that I didn't get to play enough of this game. And by that, I mean I didn't get to play it till completion. This game's amazing. It's probably it's if we're just taking, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably in my top 10 games of all time. It's everything from that Jen described, the music, the look, the way the game plays. There's some outdated things because this game did come out, over 20 years ago. But the system of picking up the weapons and seeing numbers go up, which is definitely something that I love in any games I play. If you listen to the games I like, you would know why. But yeah, it's amazing that when you think of this era of games, that the game that was 2D and probably was looked down on for being 2D at that time is probably the one that aged the best.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean,
yeah.
Sony's big thing in the early part of the PlayStation was no 2D games. We need all 3D games.
Right.
We don't want to release any 2D games because they're behind the times or whatever.
Yep.
And like you said, you could very easily see that a game like Symphony of the Night right now looks way better than like Siphon Filter does.
Yeah.
Like it's a testament to how good those games really looked.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah. And it's just kind of amazing that you get or that this game wasn't relegated to, it may have come out for it, but wasn't relegated to being like exclusive to the Saturn. Like, because I know it came out later, but it felt like when the Saturn was out, they were pushing 2D.
It never came out on the Saturn in the US.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, because I if I remember correctly from the Saturn, they were pushing a lot of like up-res 2D games.
A lot of arcade-style games, yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta say for Konami, the fact that this came out on PlayStation is probably what had it have the legs it does. I don't think if this comes out like exclusive to anything else at the time because of Sony's mandate, that we are talking about it today. I think it gets lost in the ether of Saturn until like maybe someone discovers it like 5 years ago when Saturn emulation starts getting good.
Well, yeah, it kind of happened. That kind of the same thing happened with Rondo of Blood because it was on the TurboGrafx or the PC Engine CD, and nobody had one of those. And it was a Japanese only game, but now it's looked upon as one of the best Castlevanias of all time.
Yeah, and what this game, as much as I love what this game really wanted me to do was to give Bloodstained, I believe it's called.
Circle of the Moon or Curse of the Night or
the one that's not like a ripoff of this game. Because I think Circle of the Moon looks like a Castlevania game.
One of them looks directly like a like an 8-bit or 16-bit Castlevania game.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that's like fully like 4K or whatever, 1080p. Whichever one of those two. I think it's Bloodstained, but it makes me want to give that game a shot, because I already know what this game is. But playing through this again, I'm like, you know what? I should give that game a chance, since I remember, I beat this game when it first came out, never touched it again until this. And I wonder if getting the refresher of playing this game will make me want to play that. And I think that's one of the best things that I think our Retro Roulette thing does, the advent of, emulation and streaming and stuff like that will do. I don't know if you guys felt that playing this game like from 1997 and going around and either going, what have I missed from that generation, or what games that are coming out now that were inspired by this should I be giving a shot at that I normally wouldn't give a second look at.
That's a good point, because I should be thinking of it that way, because I don't play games like this, but maybe I should, because I like this.
Yeah. That was the whole mind when I was going through this. was like, there's got to be a reason that this type of game, has survived. And I should give them more chance. Just because, I fell in love playing it again, like I did, 2 decades ago. But yeah, this game's great. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone listening out there about it. If you like Castlevania, if you like 2D games, if you like games, like Bloodstained and all that stuff, go back and play this, because there's going to be some things in this that are light years better than the newer game, and it'll give you some history of where the genre came from. So yeah.
Yeah, I very much agree with everything you're saying, Mark. The biggest thing for me is how easy this game is to pick up. A lot of games in this generation didn't. If you didn't have the manual or whatever, it could be impossible to play. Like when we were playing Klonoa, luckily it was only 2 buttons, but I didn't know how to do the main thing to progress, and you had to look it up for me. I didn't have to do that with this game. And it felt really good. I don't know how else to describe it. The second I got to be playing, it felt good, and I didn't feel like it was laggy. I didn't feel like I wasn't doing enough damage. It was one of the first games I played on stream where I didn't feel like, oh, this isn't going well. People aren't going to like watching me play it because I'm not doing well. It was one of the first ones that I didn't feel like that was going to happen, because I felt like I had a handle on the game. And the music kicked in, and I was like, yes, I'm so in for this. It's so good. And this is coming from someone who dislikes older Castlevanias because of the bullshit that we've talked about, where you fall through stairs and crap like that. But it seems like they finally fixed all that stuff in this game and added some really weird voice acting, which is fine. It adds a little level of humor, even though it's not supposed to be funny, but it definitely gives you another layer. I like that there's a leveling up system. Anytime I see level go up, I get happy. Anytime I can find a secret, I'm happy. And I also love that it's got save points all over the place, because it makes trying to backtrack and go other places very easy as compared to like Metroid, where you don't really get that often. And this is your first Metroidvania, as far as I'm concerned. This is it. This is where it started. If you enjoy Metroidvanias now and you haven't played this one, you need to go back and play it. But yeah, Mark is definitely right. The fact that I like this game so much tells me I should play newer versions of this, newer types of games like this, but I just haven't, because it was just like a blind spot to me when I was a kid, and I just never really played them. And I guess it was probably because it was a 2D game during a 3D generation, or the beginning of the 3D generation.
Yeah.
Because they didn't push this game. The reason this game is so expensive today is because it didn't sell very well, because they didn't really feel the need to push it, because it wasn't cutting edge like Battle Arena to Shinden or something like that, So it's hard to find a copy that's not over $70 at this point, which is ridiculous. which is why I have it on PSN and I played it on, a PSP Go. There's still ways to play it in its original form, and you don't have to lose a kidney to play it. But yeah, overall enjoyed it. Can't say enough about this game being as good as it is. But we should get some scores, and then we'll get out of here, because I feel like we've been here a long time.
Yep. It's been a marathon.
First thing before we get the scores, there's a spoiler about Alucard. Put that out there.
Oh.
All right. Jen, what do you give the Castlevania Symphony of the Night?
I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. I just wanted more flexibility on potions. That's really all. Overall, it's a really fun game. I would recommend. I was going to say pretty much what you said, Tom. Anyone, and Mark, anyone that likes 2D gaming, if you haven't played this already, you should definitely pick it up and play it. And it was amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. Mark?
Well, this one gets one of my 5 out of 5s. This game's great. All the games. That was when I had that pause when I was talking about it earlier. I'm like, yeah, this, because basically all my top 10 games are fun. So I was like, this is one of them? and then, made that decision there. But yeah, it's a 5 out of 5. It's practically a game that, while maybe not the first in the genre, because people find some obscure game from that time period. It was the one that kickstarted it, at least amongst developers. And then we got, it took a while for it to sink in and then get all the great games that have come out with, I haven't played a whole lot of them, but, you hear about it. It's become its own genre at this point, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, I recommend, if anybody has any love for action games, even 2D or 3D, games with a slight RPG element where you get weapons that improve your stats. And it does have a level up system, but I guess you could call it an RPG, but it doesn't have a skill tree or anything. Or maybe I'm just really stuck in modern games like this.
It's got RPG elements.
Yeah. But so does Madden. That's the thing that kills me about RPG elements.
Don't tell them, Mark. Don't tell them.
But yeah. Play it. You'll enjoy it. And you will know from the beginning of when you start as Alucard, if you don't like it once you get all your stuff taken away, you're not going to like the game in full, because that's the whole game. You just get more powerful and able to go through enemies easier. But I guarantee there's a better than average chance that you will like the game.
Well, I'm also giving it a 5 out of 5. This is either my first or second. I have not given many out on this show, but I agree with everything Mark and Jeni have said. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with a game that started a genre that essentially every game has been copying ever since. But yeah, if you like Metroidvania style games nowadays, and you've played like a game like, I don't know, Messenger or something like that and enjoyed that, you need to go back and play the OG. And I think that's going to wrap it up for Retro Roulette tonight. And now that we all have scores, time to spin the wheel. Okay, I think we've talked about this game previously. We're going to play Grandia for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
that does sound familiar.
I did start streaming it a little bit back on the old channel.
Well,
after I beat Wild Arms.
Oh, did you? This was the follow up to Wild Arms.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited now.
Yeah.
I know a couple people have been excited because I've mentioned it on stream that they want to see us play it. So
there we go.
Here we go. We're getting another RPG. What a surprise! Another PlayStation game also.
Yep.
So if you are listening to this the day it comes out, head on over to our stream. It'll probably be 9:30. We'll see. I'm not sure. The timings have been up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
But head on over to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GameVaultPod, and come see what Grandia looks like on the PS1. All right. Mark, do you want to let everybody know about TC Tam?
Yeah, so They Call This a Movie, which is a movie podcast that I am on, that these my two fine co-hosts here have been on in the past. One willingly, one held at gunpoint for a movie. You can decide which is which for that. So you can find it anywhere you get podcasts, a Spreaker, Apple, Google. We just did our Valentine's episode. Since today is Valentine's Day. You can go and listen to that after this. We watched 50 Shades Darker. I don't recommend watching that as a Valentine's Day movie, significant other. Because either it's going to bore you to tears, or you're going to find some things out about your significant other by her reactions to certain things, or his reactions, who knows, going on in that movie. But it is the first time that a movie was 2 hours long and nothing happened, to a astonishing degree of nothing happening. It's a terrible movie, and I was expecting that, but it was a weird level of nothing happening. So be sure to check that out. We have one more movie coming up that we chose for February, and then we have our poll which you can go and vote on now. We have Air Force One, First Kid, and Welcome to Mooseport. So be sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at TCTAMPod. That's TCTAM pod. And we're on TikTok as well. Go and check us out. And Jen, what about our streams?
So right now we stream consistently 3 days a week. Mondays is Retro Day with Tom. He's either playing through our Retro Roulette game that we pick here on the stream, or he is continuing his playthrough of Chrono Trigger. So that's a lot of fun to join. Wednesdays is our day where the three of us jump on and play a multiplayer game together. Right now it is Halo Infinite, so it is Halo Hump Day. And we play with our friends Jonathan and Brian as well, which is awesome to get everyone together. So you should join us for that as well. And then Thursdays is Mark's Day. It was Co-op Day, and now it is kind of just a grab bag day where we're just playing whatever we feel like. So
yeah.
We do have a special Thursday stream this week. If you're listening to us on Monday, this Thursday, Tom and I are going to be building a keyboard together virtually.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I designed it in my mind, kind of. So this is the first time I'm going to be building it, and Tom's going to be on cam showing off his custom keyboards. This is a dangerous new hobby for me and an existing dangerous hobby for Tom. So we'll be talking about that kind of stuff. So I think that'll be fun to do. But maybe we'll see more of those kinds of streams in the future.
Yep, and just clarify for Thursday, it's still going to stay Co-op Day. Just life and stuff gets in the way as me and Tom are trying to figure it out. Right. But you guys came to me wanting to do the keyboard stream, and I was like, sure. We don't have we haven't started the new game yet.
Right.
So the day is open. Mm-hmm. And we did our stream last Thursday in a celebration of good things happening in my life.
Yep.
Just because, I'll give in to Jen when I'm happy, and do it. And it was good to hang out.
Know.
It was
keep that in your back pocket.
Oh, I will.
it was good to hang out with a good friend Tallulah and get in there and play Phasmo. I will say, as much as most of it's a bit on the podcast here, but I think the best part about that game and any game is just I don't care how good I am at it. It's just the talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
The game got infinitely better for me. Sorry to I tangent at the very end here, but I want to get this out. And this goes for games like this, is that when the four of us were there, the fun spiked for me. Mm-hmm. When, no offense to you, Jen, but when it was just the two of us, it was like, okay, we're trying to play the game because there's,
right.
So
it was a bit more serious.
Yeah, we can't bullshit because we have to finish the game.
Right, we have to actually pay attention. One
or two can go off and do the actual,
Yep.
Things that need to be done, and the rest of us can run around. Ooh, I got a fly.
Ooh, look at the potato.
Look at the potato. You can fuck around, and that's where the fun comes. So anyway, Tom, Stone Age Gamer, I think, is next.
Yeah, we're an affiliate of Stone Age Gamer. If you have a need for retro console accessories, whether they be controllers or cables or power supplies, head on over via the link in the description of this podcast, and every time you use it to purchase something, it gives us a little kickback and helps us make these podcasts and our streams better for you guys. So I hope we see you all this evening for the stream. I hope we hear from you on Twitter. I'm very interested to hear what you all think about all of the stuff we talked about. Nintendo, any games that you like that calm you down, and of course our Retro Roulette game. So thank you everyone for joining us through this extended episode. Hope you all are doing well, staying safe. And for Mark and Jeni, I'm Tom, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.